We
Sure.
have people that have invested in real estate for a long time, and we're looking just to diversify. And they've joined the program and started diversifying beyond just, say, the regular flips or regular land business.
Greetings, well builders. Welcome to Get Diversified, your go-to podcast for all things real estate investments.
I'm Jacqueline.
Melvin Landry. We're thrilled to embark on this wealth building journey with you.
Imagine this. What if your investments not only secure your future, but also unlock a life of financial freedom? That's what we're diving into on this show. Apartment buildings, storage facilities, mobile home parks, the whole shebang.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about investing. It's about crafting a legacy, building memories with your loved ones, and seizing every moment. Time is the currency of life. And let's be real, none of us wants to waste.
We've got the insights, experience, and dash of excitement to spice up your investing game. Plus, we'll throw in some real-life stories that'll make you see the potential in every brick and mortar.
Subscribe, buckle up, and get ready to turn your investments into the ticket to financial freedom. Together, we're not just building wealth, we're building the community of savvy investors. Let's get diversified.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Diversified. My name is Jacqueline Landry. I am your host today, and I have Robert Howell with me as our Get Diversified podcast guest. So welcome to the show, Robert.
Thanks for having me on today.
Awesome. So I'm going to try to do Robert some justice by giving him an introduction here. So Robert is a real estate investor specializing in affordable housing through mobile home park and land home developments. Currently owning and operating over 250 lots across the Southeast, he now focuses on teaching others how to build wealth with land home packages while standing grounded in a mission to show God's love through affordable housing. Robert shares practical strategies for profitable, purpose-driven investing and building a legacy that matters. I absolutely love that. So, Robert, what did I miss in the introduction?
I think you're spot on. But I guess I could start with a little bit of background. I was doing event marketing during COVID, and that's really what got me in affordable housing. If we go back to those days, we remember, well, shoot, we weren't going outside, we weren't doing anything. And I thought, well, if there's ever going to be an event again, I need to do something different. And so that I was pretty risk adverse at the time. And that's when I started buying and selling affordable houses, and got me eventually into mobile home parks, which then got my mobile home dealer's license, which allowed me to then buy land and put new mobile homes. So, everything kind of just went together to where we're at today. And I think your introduction did a great job explaining today. Invest in mobile home parks as really long-term strategy for when I'm retired, and hopefully 10 years, or at least work optional. How about that?
Yeah, work
And then
optional. I love that.
day-to-day investing in land home projects, and done a lot of those in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee, and also teach people how to do that across the country.
Fantastic. So I'm going to start with a very basic question, because I for sure don't know what this is. What exactly is a land home development, and why is it important to investors?
Yeah. So land home, just to break it down real simple, I'd search for vacant raw land. Sometimes it's not vacant raw, actually. Sometimes it maybe has an old structure on it. But long story short, buy land and then buy a brand new manufactured home and install that manufactured home, what some people would call a mobile home, or if you're older, maybe you call it a trailer. And we put that home on the land, and then we sell the home and the land together, typically to a first-time homeowner.
So you don't buy and hold. You sell the land and the home.
That's right. For that specific strategy, it is possible to buy and hold those, kind of like a burr bottle, but
Yep.
our specific strategy is to flip them really as active income.
Awesome. So how many of these do you do a year if you're not burring them, right? Or holding them for rental income? So you must have to do a lot a year to ensure that you have steady cash flow coming in. So talk to me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, what your goal is and what your really how much money do you need to make. Typically, as we're doing each project, we're making 30 to 40, sometimes $50,000 profit per project. And so reality is you could do just 3 of these or 4 of these and have a great income. I do quite a bit more than that, and that's why I've got lots of gray hair, but quite a few. Last year, I think we did 40 or 50 of them. And this year, hoping to do more than that.
Wow. So What do you do? So I'm super interested in this because we have some properties here in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area where we have some houses that are not worth to rehab it. But we own the land, but the structure just isn't worth to try to rebuild it. So you would recommend us spending the money to knock that down and get a mobile home park or a mobile home on the land?
Yeah, that's a definitely a great strategy, and we'd love it when we come across property that already has a structure on it or used to have a structure on it, because what that means is the utilities already exist, and the cost to get utilities sometimes is the largest cost other than the house, and it streamlines the process. You demo the house, make a mobile home pad, put the house on it, and you're ready to go.
Awesome. So what are some of the so a lot of these are my questions because I'm super interested. So how do I know that the particular area that my land is will allow a mobile home to be placed on my parcel of land?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we call the county or call the city and we get what's called a zoning verification letter. And so we simply say, hey, we own 123 Main Street, or if it doesn't have an address, it has a parcel number, right? And so we'll just tell them that and we'll ask for a written verification that a manufactured house is allowed to go there. Typically, what we find in our area, if you're in city limits, it'll be more difficult depending on the city and their openness to manufactured housing. If you are in the county and outside of city limits, typically it's not an issue unless there was some old deed restriction that you're unaware of.
Yeah. So do you differentiate between your trailer homes, I'll call them, because I'm old school too. I have gray under here, under the blonde. But trailers versus manufactured homes, or do you or does most cities or counties view them as the same thing?
They're going to view them as the same.
Okay.
When kind of the history of that is when they first started making mobile homes or manufactured homes, they really were trailers. And they had their wheels and they actually kept their wheels on after they set them up. They kept the hitch on, and so they were easy to move. Today, in today's world, if you're buying a manufactured house, most likely when they set that home up, they're going to take the wheels off of that, and they're also going to take the hitch off. So it's less of a trailer. We kind of evolved. We went and said, okay, it was a trailer, 40, 50 years ago. And 20 years ago, it was a mobile home. And the reality is, yes, they are mobile, but in today's world, the way that they're set up, they're not really mobile. You could
Yeah,
still move them, but it would take a lot of effort.
got it. And what are the costs for manufactured homes these days?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it really depends on, um, and the way we look at it is what's the end sales price going to be, right? When we go to sell it, we'll
Yeah.
determine how nice of a manufactured house that we want to put on a parcel. And so we'll spend anywhere from $60,000 for a very basic double wide manufactured house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1,440 square foot. So still a really nice house,
Yeah.
a lot of square foot. And you can go all the way up. I got a quote this morning for $150,000. You can go beyond that even. But that's going to be a really nice house. It's got sheetrock on the inside. Probably has a tile shower, his and her closets, double vanity. I mean, if you're the inside of the house, you'd think you're in $1 million house.
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so I could go from 60 to about 150,000. So that's good to know. And obviously you're paying for
That's right.
transport fees to you're paying transfer fees to wherever they deliver. How expensive are those fees to transport it to your destination?
Yeah, transport is really not terrible, and it depends on how far, of course, the distance from the factory is. Most of the manufacturers have factories all across different regions. So I may buy a house, and if I'm doing a project in Tennessee, I'm going to look for a factory in Tennessee that I can order from, and it's probably
Yeah.
going to be $3,000 to $5,000 to ship it to me. Whereas if I'm in South Carolina and I'm ordering that same house from Tennessee, it may be $7,000 to $10,000 for shipping.
Okay. Okay. So that's key. So I should look for houses, manufactured houses somewhere in the state of Pennsylvania or Ohio
Yeah,
or
and there's a lot of great manufacturers in that area.
okay, cool. How do you know who a good manufacturer is? Or do they just contact you, Robert, and say, "Hey, tell me who the good ones are and what makes a good manufactured home?"
Yeah, so we typically are buying Clayton Homes or Champion Homes or Capco Homes, Fleetwood, all great manufacturers and make a really good product. And, of course, if you ask Clayton if they're better than Capco, they're going to say yes, right? And they're going to give you a list of
Yeah.
reasons that they're better. My feeling is, overall, they're very comparable homes. If you're looking at the same type of homes,
Yeah.
and same price point, it's going to be a very similar build. And for me, it comes down to, as I'm looking at which house to do, what are the competitors doing in the market? If there are competitors that when I list the house, I've got to compete against, and then I find a manufacturer that can compete with that. And sometimes I decide I want to compete directly and say, hey, I need to have one that's sheetrock and it needs to be nice and it needs to have the similar finishes. But then sometimes I look at it and I say, I want to be the low price leader, right? And so I
Right.
may go with a more affordable house, and that way I can undercut the price by $20,000 or $30,000.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So we invest in C class areas. So these houses are in, these ones that need to be torn down are in C class areas, and we buy and hold, and we typically rent to folks that are on some type of program. So maybe they're on Section 8, maybe they're dealing with another nonprofit in the city. So we need to kind of work our way back to how much we could pay for the home, I would guess, going from how much rent are we going to get with this 2 bedroom, 1 bath, or 3 bedroom, 2 bath, or whatever, and then work our way back to how much we should buy on the home. Give me some pointers on that if you were consulting me as a somebody that wants to do this, kind of work my way through. If I'm currently getting 1240 for a 2 bed, 1 bath, and I want to put a manufactured home on my lot,
Mhm.
what would how would you kind of work your way from the $1,200 a month down to the cost of the mobile home and getting it up and functional?
Yeah. So, if I was looking for 1,240 and knowing that you're renting a 2 bedroom for that, I would look at a single wide if the area allows for single wides. You can get really nice 2 bedroom or even 3 bedroom. You can get a 3 bedroom, 1,200 square foot single wide home, and
Yeah.
I think you would do excellent because those are going to be less expensive for a rental to set up. Because on a double wide, you're setting up 2 sections and there's some trim out and finishing that you have to do. Whereas a single wide is just one section, and therefore you can set it up pretty quickly and for relatively low cost. So you would be on a single wide, you're going to be, anywhere from, depending on how nice of a single wide you get, you're going to be probably in at 75K, maybe 90K maximum.
Okay.
By the time you buy the house and get it fully set up and connected to sewer and water and such.
Okay. That's good. As I'm thinking about it, most of these homes in these areas, you're probably looking at a ARV of 110 to $120,000.
Hmm.
So, definitely wouldn't do the Burr method. At least
Right.
that's my thought. It would just kind of be a buy and hold, but there wouldn't be any renovations that come along with it. And how does financing work? Is it similar
Yeah. So
to a mortgage?
there's lenders that will finance these for rentals, and they'll finance them over the long term. And so when I'm buying one for a rental, typically I'm looking at either a 20-year amortization or a 30-year amortization. And there's specific lenders. Not every lender is going to do it, of course, but for the ones that do, the process to secure the loan is very similar to how you would secure a loan on a bank, or sorry, on a
Got it.
on a site built house.
Got it. That's awesome. All right, cool. Well, let's move on. Thanks for answering all my questions, because now you're giving me some ideas of what we can do with old dilapidated houses that we haven't yet gone to fix up. And then it's like, okay, so what can we do with them? So this is a very viable option, especially if our payment to the lender is 4, 5, $600, and you're getting 1240 in rent, right? and then less expenses. So you're still making a pretty good amount of money off of these, even if you were to, spend 90 to $100,000.
Yeah,
So thank you. Thank
100%.
you. That was good stuff. So share with us a little bit about your journey from doing what you do now as a real estate investor to an educator.
Yeah, that's a good question. So for me, I'm an operator really at heart, and we've been doing real estate investing for a while now and doing land home projects for 5 or 6 years now. And a couple of years ago, I met Brent Bowers, who goes by the Land Shark, and he is a land educator. And we got to know each other. He said, "Hey, look, you're a great operator. You're probably already teaching people how to do this. There's a huge need for affordable housing. How could we spread the word more and get this education program out?" I'd sat on that for probably 9 months. And finally, he was like, "Look, Robert, if you're not going to do it, then let's partner up. And people that join can get my land program and learn how to find land. And they could also learn how to execute land home projects." And so finally, we did it. We got together, partnered up, and started what's called the Land Home League. And we have 50 or 60 members now. We started January 2025. And we're terrible gurus. We really haven't marketed it that much. We've done webinars and invited people to talk with us after the webinar. And it's awesome to see the success that people are having. We
Sure.
have people that have invested in real estate for a long time, and we're looking just to diversify, and they've joined the program and started diversifying beyond just, say, the regular flips or regular land business. We also have people that were just getting started out. We've got a gentleman in the group. He's 25 years old, and he's already executed 3 of these in the last 9 months, and he's got 2 more under contract, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, I love it when young people take action and want to, make that first million earlier in life than later in life, like myself. So
Right,
that's always
right.
great to see.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.